Okay, welcome everybody to MBA 8115 Class 7, in which we will talk about activity-based costing. But before we do that, I want to follow up on the exam that we just took. So here's the breakdown. The average on the test was 80%. That is after including 2 points, curve points. So everybody received 2 points. Why 2 points? Well, the maximum score without the curve was 123 out of 125, so 2 points makes the maximum score 100%. As far as how did you do relative to the rest of the course, here's a breakdown. You can see that about 19% of the students in the class got some sort of A, about 25% got some sort of B, and then 57% got some sort of C or less. And you might be thinking, wow, this is horrible. How can we have this many students do so poorly? And what do we do now? Now what? Should I drop the course or what? Well, it's up to you, but I will say that things probably aren't as bad as they look. This first test is usually the hardest. Let me give you an idea of what you can do to figure out where you're at and what your final grade could look like. So first of all, let's just talk about how to calculate your current course letter grade. To understand where you're at currently, first think about how many points are possible up to this point. Well, if you add up the Excel assignment, which is 25 points, with the class contribution scores, so there's 6 classes that we've had, 2 points apiece, that's 12 points possible. Quizzes, we've had 5 quizzes at 5 points apiece, so that's 25 possible points. And the first exam was 125 points. So that's a total of 187 points possible up to this point in the course. So to figure out your current course letter grade, add up your points, divide it by 187, since that's the maximum that you could have, and that'll give you a percent. Then multiply that percent by 500, because that's how many points are possible in the course. And then use the grading scale in the syllabus to see what your letter grade is. In the syllabus, there's this approximate grading scale listed right here. After you do that, you might think about, okay, well, what could my final letter grade be in the course? Well, recognize again that there are 500 points possible in the course. To see your highest possible grade at this point, you can do the following calculation. So take the number of points that you just added up, subtract it from 187, and then subtract that difference from 500. And then use the same grading scale in the syllabus to see what your highest grade could be. Let me give you an example for a fictitious student named Heinz Doofenshmirtz. Heinz Doofenshmirtz, let's assume, has earned the following points. He got 100 points on the Excel assignment. He's been to every class, so he's got all 12 class participation or contribution points. And he's missed some points on the quizzes, so he's only got 20 out of 25 points. He also only got a 90 on exam 1. So the total points possible, the total points that he's earned up to this point are 130. So if we take that 130, divide it by, that should be 137. 137 divided by 187, and then multiply that by 500, that's 366 points, and that is consistent with a C letter grade in the course, so that's his current grade. However, that is not necessarily his final letter grade. To understand the final letter grade that Heinz could earn in the course, take the difference between the 187 and the 137, which is 50, subtract that from the total possible points in the course, 500, and that's 450 points. 450 points is the minimum that you need to get an A-. So assuming he gets every other point in the course, he could get a score of A-.